Und da sind wir wieder mit Outer Worlds, Tab, Windows Menü und den Besuch des Groundbreakers, den man da draußen sieht. Ich glaube, das ist er. So, ich habe herausgefunden, wie man die Punkte verteilt, indem man einfach hier oben drauf klickt. Perfekt, Digga. So, Fernkampf wollen wir auf jeden Fall rein. Fernkampf sind wir krass. Dann ausweichen könnten wir. Lügen, einschüchtern, schleichen, hacken, Schloss knacken. Da können wir auch noch was rein investieren. Okay. Medizin. Mhm. Ah, okay. Ab wann? 20. Okay. Begleiterfähigkeiten. Du kannst Begleiter anweisen, Spezialangriffe auszuführen. Okay. Begleiter halten 20. Okay. Das ist alles auf Begleiter. Ah. Verbessert deine Waffen und Rüstung an der Werkbank. Aha. Schalte den zweiten Medizinmix-Platz für den Inhalator frei. Okay. Technik. Repariert deine Waffen und Rüstung im Inventar. Oh, auch gut. Schlosshacken, du findest 25% mehr Bits. Ja, Hacken. Verkaufsautomat zu verkaufen. Okay, das hatten wir schon. Taschendiebstahl beim Schleichen von Menschen stehen. Ah, auch gut. Drei Punkte haben wir noch. Können wir noch hier reinmachen. So. Anwenden. Annehmen. Bam. Inventar haben wir ein paar Waffen. Oder Werkbank benutzen. Tüfteln. Tüfteln. Ist Schaden? Ja, why not? Was kostet mich das denn? Ah, ein paar Bits. Alles verbessern, das geht. Yeah. Oh, reparieren. Zerlegen. Die können weg. So. Mod installieren habe ich schon 2. Hier brauche ich ehrlich gesagt keine. So, dann hatten wir noch was, oder? Oder hier, oder? Ah, ne. Dann sprechen wir nochmal mit Pervati.
Sometimes I wonder about Mr. Hawthorne. What was he like? Why'd he make the computer a talkie? You think he got lonely, flying about on his own?
Du wolltest mit mir reden.
About the Groundbreaker's engineer, Junlei Tennyson. I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got time to swing us by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borscht beans she could teach me all manner of stuff.
Klar, wir können die jetzt gleich am Maschinenraum vorbeisehen. Ich dachte, du hättest gesagt, du könntest dieses Schiff in Schuss halten. Möchtest du etwa von meiner Crew zu ihrer wechseln? Ich glaube nicht, dass sie dir eine große Hilfe sein wird, aber wenn du zufällig mit der Partie bist, kannst du gerne versuchen. Ja, komm.
Thanks, Captain. I'll be
Können
sure
wir
to make it worth
vorbeischauen,
it.
Pervati. Ja, Pervati.
Did you want to
Mann.
talk about something else?
Nö, alles gut. Den Wicker könnte ich noch mal reden. Warte mal, wo war denn der nochmal? Wicker. Oh lol, wir sind Sam. Kick me? für einen Streich erstellt worden. Sam hat das Schild eine Woche lang getragen, bevor Ada es bemerkt und der Reinigungseinheit gemeldet hat. Wer das Schild auf dem Router platziert hat, wird wohl ein Mysterium bleiben. Was bist du denn, ey? Antwortet nicht die auf dem Gehäuse bezeichnete Seriennummer, enthält die Buchstaben Sam. Interessant. Wir schließen mal die Tür. Was geht hier ab? Das ist keine Petunie. Schalzange und du. Okay. Oh, leichte Muni, die nehme ich mit. Kann man immer gut gebrauchen. Eine Werkzeugkiste. Okay. Ja. Yeah. Foto von Pervatis Vater. Ja. Ja, so streng sieht er auch nicht aus. Hier ist der Mika. Index der verbotenen Schriften. Okay. Schwere Muni. Läuft bei ihm. Das Tagebuch von Maximilian de Soto, Band 1. Okay. OWD-Banner, das Usezeichen dieses Banners gehört zum Orden des wissenschaftlichen Diskurs. So, Vika, was geht ab?
As always, I am at your disposal. Anything you'd like
Ich will
to
gerne etwas
discuss?
über meine Durchfliegende erfahren. Was ist deine Geschichte?
Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just your run-of-the-mill vicar with a violently enthusiastic disposition. That's what my parents called it. I grew up in a pit of a town, much like Edgewater. I was destined to be a laborer like my parents, but I was infected early with a need to solve the equation. My passion didn't sit well with them.
Okay, wieso warst du so passioniert? Waren sie nicht religiös? Lass uns über was anderes reden.
My parents, ironically. They internalized the precepts of scientism like no one I've ever known. They had a pure faith, a faith that brought joy to them regardless of the situation. I envied that. I wanted that peace. I thought if I became a vicar, I could find it. Or at the very least, find out why I lacked it.
Aber waren sie nicht wenigstens stolz, als du Vikar geworden bist?
They thought I was fighting the plan, should have accepted my lot. Some people pursue the clergy for power, prestige, but that was not me.
Was ist das für ein Plan, von dem du ständig redest?
The simple version is this. The force which we call the Grand Architect created the universal equation that underlies and defines everything in the universe. Everything flows from the equation, or in layman's terms, the grand plan. Is the Grand Architect a consciousness? A natural force? Did it create the equation on purpose? The answers to these questions don't really matter. The equation, the plan, is all that matters. Contentment is found by accepting one's role in the plan.
Eine praktische Methode, um die Masse zu kontrollieren, abgesehen von dem gelobten Architekten und dem Plan. An was glaubst du sonst noch?
Scientism, as its name implies, believes that nature abhors equality. The strong survive, and the weak perish for the betterment of the whole. And reason, not emotion, is the seat of all morality. Wisdom means accepting the vicissitudes of life with grace and dignity.
Okay, es klingt nach einem grausamen Glaubens.
I prefer to think of it as
System.
looking at reality for what it truly is, not how we'd like it to be. Yes? I've been thinking on that. There's a former infamous philosopher scholar who fled Terra 2 some years ago. He's an expert on Bakonu. He's also who told me of the journal's presence in Emerald Vale. If anyone in this colony could translate that book, it would be him. The only one I'm aware of. I suppose we could always just ask random passers-by if they are fluent in it.
Hey, der Captain bin immer noch ich. Nur ich darf die Crew scheißen.
A thousand pardons, my good captain. I thought we were engaging in witty repartee. Now, as far as tracking down this scholar, we should start on the Groundbreaker. It's where I'd go if I wanted to get off Terra 2. Great place to pick up a ride to Hephaestus, Scylla, even Monarch. All I need is access to a data cartridge from the security terminal. Their easily hackable system keeps a registry of all crew manifests for both arrivals and departures.
Wie kommt es, dass ein einfacher Wicker so ein hochbegabter Hacker ist?
Before I transferred to Edgewater, I had a wealth of time to develop certain, secular skills during my years serving a particular penitentiary flock. I meditated, led sermons, provided guidance to the inmates as needed, of course. I also played prison yard tossball and taught myself a bit about computronic security systems.
Klingt gut, komm,
Thank
gleich
you,
auf.
Captain.
Was haben wir hier noch? Auf jeden Fall noch ein Platz für ein Crewmitglied. Noch ein Platz für ein Crewmitglied. Noch ein Platz. Ich kann also, glaube ich, noch 3 Typen mitnehmen.
Want to be a brand new you?
Charakterspezialisierung. Respezialisierung erstattet alle weiter. Abbrechen.
Try out
Das
our
wollen wir nicht.
specification machine. Alex installed it himself. Right before he died.
Ey, da muss ich sprechen. Ey, da, was geht ab?
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance?
Was weißt du über die Robotereinheit, die in Abstellkammer
The
verstaubt?
unit is a cleaning SAM. Hawthorne brought it on board some cycles ago, I'm sure with the intent to modify it. But I've never seen it up and running. Alex likely recorded progress notes detailing his efforts to modify SAM. If you check the terminal in your captain's quarters, we may be able to determine what work remains in order for SAM to properly operate.
Okay.
May
Alles
luck
klar.
be with you. Of course, as I am sure you are aware, luck does not exist. But it seems to comfort humans to believe they possess good quantities of it.
Alles klar, Ada. Da sind wir. Auf geht's. Groundbreaker. Begleiter auswählen. Weiter. Kann also 5 Begleiter haben. Kann man aber alle 5 mitnehmen. Das ist ja krass, glaube ich. Ich glaube 2 ist maximal. Glaube ich. Nice, da sind wir. Yo. Jane Elson.
Just checking your ship's manifest. Standard procedure. Welcome.
Alles klar.
Captain. Hey, Captain. I'm in space. I never thought I'd be able to say that.
Ja. Das bist du.
That's not the point. This halfwit just knocked out one of my workers.
Yeah, with a tossball stick. I heard you the first time. There weren't any witnesses.
No witnesses. He's not even denying it.
Jackass had it coming.
Shut it, Felix. You're not making this any better.
You get cute with me again, you little back bay brat, I will toss you out an airlock.
This is the Groundbreaker, not Byzantium. You ain't the law here. I am. Now move along.
I don't have time.
Zieh Leine. War das. Jo, Felix.
Going for a stroll around the docking base?
Mir ist vorhin aufgefallen, dass du dich mit jemandem gestritten hast.
Sure was. Got a knack for upsetting the board and the Mardettes all at once. Between you and me, I was hoping they'd come to fisticuffs.
Ich will gern deine Version hören. Was ist passiert?
I had this foreman, right? Guy never liked me, always trying to get a rise out of me. But I keep my chin up, right? Be the bigger man, I tell myself. He's a Spacer's chosen man, though. So when the Chosen beat my Rangers the other night, my foreman comes swaggering up with his head full of boasting.
Und dann habt ihr eure Meinungsverschiedenheiten wie Erwachsene werden.
That's when I broadsided him with a tossball stick. Yeah. Look, this was a long time coming. Guy thinks he can push me around because he's some sky-high foreman, and I'm just a back bay's dock worker. Well, former dock worker. Guess I just tendered my resignation.
Klingt, als wärst du auf dich allein gestellt besser dran. Hast du schon einen Plan?
Enjoy my freedom. Scrounged together enough bits for a 0G. Other than that, can't say as I do. Hey, not for nothing, but I saw you wander out of that ship over there by the dock. Wouldn't happen to be yours, would it?
Ist es?
Captain of the Unreliable. You're like something out of a serial drama. Hey, I don't want to talk your ears off, guessing you got places to be. I appreciate your time.
Nicht mitbekommen, ich will nur. Hast du es eilig, irgendwo hinzukommen?
Felix Millstone. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Felix Millstone.
See
Man
you
sieht
around,
sich,
boss.
Felix. Dockarbeiter. Konzerte. Mardet.
Hey.
Oh. Okay, die hat keinen Bock zu quatschen. Da ist nichts Besonderes drin. Hey, Vika, was geht ab? Nee, hier, komm. Dockarbeiter.
You learn to keep your eyes to yourself in my job. Nobody wants you looking close at their cargo.
Mülleimer, auf jeden Fall. Du hast ein Ausweismodul gefunden, das du mit dem Holo-Mantel kombinieren kannst. Wenn du das damit verbundene Sperrgebiet betrittst, wirst du automatisch getarnt. Aha. Okay. Dockarbeiter. Untersuchen. Gesucht. Finesse wie Welles. Für mehrere Verbrechen und Widerstand gegen Vorstandsentscheidungen inklusiv, aber nicht beschränkt auf mehrere und alle der folgenden. Auftritt, Fälschung, Verschwörung.
That's quite the impressive list of infractions.
Gunnar McRae. Tot oder lebendig. Captain Gunnar McRae. Öffentlichen Trinken, Groundbreaker, Eigentum, bezahlt. Okay. Wie ist das? Das ist sehr wieder. Mardet.
Just right.
Customs and inspection, right this way.
Verkaufsautomat. Was verkauft der denn hier? Eine taktische Schrotflinte. Die klingt ja mal krass. Offizierswirbel. Sieht auch krass aus. Gibt's hier? Okay. Wir verkaufen. leichten Beanie. Noch was? Den haben wir doppelt. So. Kann ich hier sortieren? Name, Wert. Physik, Adrenaline, Auflage, taktische Zeitlinie, okay. Schrott. Kann man alles verkaufen. Hier, was geht ab?
Identification, please. Captain Hawthorne, you said. Let me apologize in advance. I'm about to ruin your day. According to your ship's record, you've been flagged by the board. Your ship will be impounded until such a time as they see fit to lift it.
But we've hardly been out of Edgewater long enough to get in trouble.
Well, isn't this wonderful? The captain's done something to get on the board's bad side.
Now, hold on. This isn't the end of the world. Probably.
Wie komme ich das Problem gelöst?
You'll want to take it up with Udom Bedford, our board representative here on Groundbreaker. His office is located along the starboard wall of the promenade. Shines like a Byzantium commode. Can't miss it. Access to that information is above my pay grade, and I've turned down 3 promotions, so it stays that way. I shouldn't be mentioning it, but what the hell? This here, impounding your ship, it doesn't happen much. The board knows we don't take kindly to their interfering in our operations. If I had to take a guess as to why, you must have riled up someone important.
Oh, großartig. Ich werde mit ihm reden und die Sache richtigstellen.
You take the starch out of him, well, you won't hear any complaints from me. Oh, and if you're headed that way, would you mind doing me a favor?
Klar.
Wanda Dorset over in sickbay, tell her the shipment's not in yet. It's not coming in anytime soon, and if she'd be so obliged to get off my ass about it.
Wiederlieferung?
A handful of SAM cleaning units retrofitted for surgery. I don't know much else. I stopped listening when she started yelling.
Verstanden.
Much appreciated. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Ich suche nach jemandem mit dem Namen Gladys.
Fence. You'll find her in the rest and go, on your left when you enter the promenade. Make sure you bring an empty belly.
Okay. Ich hätte gerne einen Drink. Kannst du ein Etablissement empfehlen? Kann ich hier irgendwo einen Job finden?
Maybe. Most of the shipping traffic in the system passes through Groundbreaker. Every couple of months, we even get a big interstellar freighter. 2 biggest operations are the board. That is, Halcyon Holdings and Sublight Salvage. But there are independent operators around the promenade deck. Most of those jobs are going to take you off station, though.
Okay. Ich suche eher nach etwas vor
Commandant
Ort.
Sanita might have a couple of folks she needs killed. Bad folks, I mean. Not regular folks. She'll be at the security desk behind me. Chief Junlei might have an errand needs running. She's all tied up trying to fix our heat problem. You'll find her in engineering.
No kidding? I'd love to get a look at this old girl's innards. I bet they're real twisty and weird. In a good way.
Verstanden.
Happy to help. That's my job, after all.
You're real good at it, too.
Well, thank you, miss. It's nice to be recognized. Yep.
Can we move this along? I have a certain matter I'd like to attend to, Captain.
They strip the parts from derelict ships and abandoned outposts. There's some that say they make the derelicts and encourage folks to abandon their steads. Sublight gives me the creeps. I've known folks who went to work for them and just vanished. They're on the promenade run by a woman named Lilia Hagen. I'm only telling you so you know to avoid them.
Wie funktioniert das mit...
Are you pulling my leg? You must be one of them long-haul freighters from outside the colony. Well, I won't hold it against you. Goes like this. Back on Earth, before the crossing, the powers that be were selling off stakes in distant star systems they thought had potential. A bunch of companies decided to throw in together and form the Halcyon Holdings Corporation, then buy up the rights to this here colony. That group's what we now call the Board.
Der Vorstand kontrolliert den Großteil des Systems, richtig? Also gibt es irgendwo eine Vorstandsetage, in der alle diese Unternehmensleiter sitzen.
Yep. Groundbreaker's the only real independent port. Aside from us, there's just tramp freighters and wildcat miners. Seems like every year the board's offices get bigger and their ships take up more of the landing base. Haven't seen nearly as many tramp crews this year. Glad to help.
Ja, wollte ich nicht wissen. Was kannst du über Udo Bedford sagen?
He's friendly enough unless you speak ill of the board. Get the sense he doesn't care for Groundbreaker much. Not that he would, being a board man and all. He's our liaison. They can't abide an independent township, especially not one they gotta depend on. We're the first and last stop out of this colony. All their interstellar freighters come through us, and we skim a few bits off the top and manifest processing fees with every one. Folks around here will bluster that the board hates our freedom, but really, they know we can stop their out-system shipments anytime we like, and that terrifies them.
Also können die Groundbreaker und der Vorstand nicht einfach zusammenarbeiten? Freut mich, dass ihnen das Angst einjagt. Den Bastarden setzt sie durch weiter unter Druck.
Sounds like it, but from where I sit, it's all coming through loud and clear. They got assault cruisers, gunships, and a handful of mining operations at their fingertips. We push them too hard, maybe they decide we'd be better in 10 trillion little pieces. Or they cobble together a new Groundbreaker and put us out of business.
The board wouldn't do that. Would they?
The board is necessary to provide order to the colony. They believe it's their prerogative to overrun you. But whether you allow that is up to you.
It's a tough line to walk, no doubt about that. But we make do all right. So far, anyway. Sure thing.
Wir sehen uns.
Be seeing you.
Das war knapp. Mardet. So. Oh, noch ein Level? Perfekt. Noch ein Level, 10 Punkte. Können wir den auf jeden Fall noch mitnehmen. Das schon mal. Hecken können wir mitnehmen. Die Medizine 10 Sekunden lang. Okay. So. Annehmen. Du hast eine Dialogkampffertigkeit freigeschaltet, wenn du die richtige Art von Gegnern angreifst, werden diese dadurch automatisch mit einem Staatseffekt belegt, okay? Vorteile. Händlerpreise, schaltet die Fähigkeit Schnellreise trotz Überladung frei. Warte, taktische Zeit, okay. Nehmen wir den. So, wir haben ein paar Aufgaben hier. Die haben wir abgeschlossen. Verbockt. Das haben wir verbockt also. Ah, passt. Begleiterauftrag. Der leere Mann.
This is it. Security. I can check the departures registry to find out which crew the scholar shipped in and out with.
Lives on Monarch. It's a wasteland. You're hearing things.
No, seriously. There was a lot of static at first, but then this voice. He said his name was Graham?
Graham, right. Broadcasting on a dead world full of monsters. Now I've heard everything.
You know, it takes more muscles to frown than to smile.
Who told you that?
Holographische Verkleidung aktiviert. Dein Holomantel ist aktiv. Du hast daher zeitweilig Zugang zu diesem Sperrgebiet. Bewegung verbraucht die Energie des Mantels. Wenn die Energie aufgebraucht ist, werden dich Wachen zur Rede stellen. Wenn du dich aus einem solchen Verhör herauswinden kannst, wird dein Mantel zurückgesetzt, aber weitere Verhöre werden weniger. Ah. So, die Frage ist, wo muss ich hin?
Slow day, huh?
Komm ich hier hin? Ah, moin Messe. Ja, und sonst so, Leute? Alles gut bei euch?
What was that? What do you think you're doing?
Lügen? Gar nicht. Das hat ja gut geklappt. Jetzt kurz so. Dann nehmen wir mit. Dann gehen wir kurz hier hin. Alles wird mitgenommen.
What? What's that noise?
Ich habe keine Ahnung, Junge. Ich weiß nicht, was hier abgeht. Wieso ist hier ein Reifen?
Nothing there.
Digi, zieh Leine.
You're an artist, Captain. There it is. Just yank the drive and I'll do the rest.
Auszeichnung der Auswerfen.
Now that we have the data cartridge, I can finally find out where that scholar I'm looking for
Macht
ended
rein,
up.
Leute. Ja, ist cool gemacht. Mardet. Haben wir ja schon. Bits. Sieht aus, als könnte man hier auch. Ah, fast. Mehr doch nicht.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. The board would like to remind spacers and other travelers that passage to Monarch is restricted for your protection.
Zu gefährlich.
Canyons of acid and sulfur radiation of the horrors plaguing the surface of Monarch. Anarchists live as one with the animals, lawless, savage, and unemployed. The board's embargo ensures that nothing can leave the planet and threaten our hard-work citizens. You've been listening to Halcyon News, your mandated duty as a good citizen of Halcyon.
Ja. Gehen wir mal weiter.
Finally distracted by the glare of the adverts. Lots of unsavory types about.
Ist das so? Geile Werbedrohne, ey. Rest and go. Da müssen wir auf jeden Fall rein.
Ooh, can we rent an upstairs room?
Milo Ottinger, was geht
How
ab?
do you do? And welcome to the Rest and Go. We used to be the Go and Rest, but folks never knew when to leave. Sorry. Business has been slow. Anything to occupy the time.
Ich suche nach Gladys.
Oh, you can't miss her. Right behind you, number 2. First unit on the left, or second unit from the right, depending on which direction you count from.
Wie ist das Leben so auf der
Fine,
Groundbreaker?
as long as the board keeps its grubby mitts to itself. Chief Tennyson holds the ship together, the Promenade holds our economy together, and Sublight is the shoddy jewel in our rusty old crown. Our Chief Tennyson has an independent streak, same as her mother and grandmother who rode this ship on the crossing.
Krasse Augen, ey.
There's a reason the board's embassy is a glorified shoebox. While Junlei Tennyson lives and breathes, Groundbreaker remains free.
Du hast Sublight erwähnt?
Our local garbage collectors. That Lilia Hagen never met a debris field she didn't like. She freely admits she planted her roots in Groundbreaker to escape board oversight. But I think there's more to it. She's unusual in the head, that one.
Okay. Machst du auch Geschäfte mit den Händlern?
Of course. Most of our supplies come and go through merchants. Company ships and salvage runs are the only traffic we tend to get. I try and steer clear of that creepy fellow in the moon mask. If there's a cost to being a company man, he paid it in spades.
Okay. Bin schon weg. 16. Fanny Maywood. Wie gut klappt das? Wir speichern mal. Er schläft ja eigentlich, muss das ja gut klappen. Der tickt ja nur Müll, ey. Ja, moin.
Damnable thing about living on a space station. no pigeons to feed. Oh, you feed the sprats, sure enough. But then the neighbors start moaning about hygiene.
Alright.
Got my sights on you.
Gladys!
Bless my heart.
Get up.
A stranger come knocking on a poor old woman's door. You here for a particular reason? Or did the neighbors tell you how good my sugar cookies are? Made without a single natural ingredient or an oven. Just like store-bought.
Phineas hat mich geschickt.
Those have been the height of illegality since Stellar Bay turned their noses up at the board. You and I could be thrown to the void just for discussing such a transaction. Lucky for us, Groundbreaker's a free port. We're outside of the board's control. For the time being, at least. Now, I only have the one nav key. And they're hard to come by these days. It won't be cheap. If you find yourself lacking in the bits, I might have an opportunity you'd be interested in.
Sag mir mehr über diese Geschäftsgelegenheit.
Well, I find I'm in need of a ship captain with a little moral flexibility. Might be this could help out the Groundbreaker, as well as earn some bits. But if you've got qualms...
Weißt du noch von anderen Jobs? Ja, ich habe keine Skrupel.
Edna, over in engineering. Sweet as a pea, that one. On occasion, she'll pass along transmissions I might find interesting. She sent me a recording of a distress signal she'd scraped from the Groundbreaker's comm array. Curious thing is, it came from an outpost called Roseway. And Auntie Cleo abandoned that place years ago.
Mir brauchst du gar nichts sagen, ich bin dabei. Oder wurde Roseway aufgegeben?
Can't say I know for sure. Maybe it never really was.
Sounds like someone poking into somewhere they shouldn't be got into a spot of trouble.
Comm centers don't operate themselves, Captain. Someone had to have sent that distress call manually.
Those corps are cleverer than all get out. Might have been a ruse to keep the rest of the board from sniffing around.
Mir brauchst du gar nichts sagen, ich bin dabei.
You've got an ear for intrigue and a nose for bits. I like that. Here's a copy of the SOS recording, complete with the coordinates. If you should find a secret worth selling, might be I could find a buyer. Corporate bigwigs will pay top bit for inside information on their competitors. The more we got the corps fighting each other, the less time they got to meddle in our affairs. Don't forget to come find old Gladys when you're done.
Weißt du noch von anderen Jobs?
Might want to acquaint yourself with Junlei Tennyson, Groundbreaker's chief. She's been trying to get a handle on this heat problem we've got. You'll find her fretting in engineering. I'd say she's a sweet girl, but law forfend someone call me a liar.
Okay. Was
I've got a
kann man denn bei
lovely
dir
little throw
kaufen?
pillow. Just something I toss together. Like to keep my hands busy.
Waffen kann ich schon mal gar nichts kaufen. Why? Okay. Rüstung, Medizin. Okay. Ja. Mhm. Okay. Verkaufen. Schrott auf jeden Fall. Waffen. Habe ich eine? Die kannst du haben. Stoßpistole. Okay. Das wäre es. Ja. Penner-Tagebuch. Okay. Oh, 2 Konzernfach dran gearbeitet, bevor ich hier getan habe. Ja, hab mich immerhin gehört. Schuld, war nicht meine Schuld. Okay.
No, I do not.
You're supposed to say yes and go on to explain why. I just want to have a conversation.
Of course you do.
Oh lol, okay. CP.
You're a dead hand with the magic.
You the new hire? Nice to meet you.
You ever wonder if maybe folks keep things closed for a reason?
To the last rat is on rotten time. Leave me in peace. You hull-headed quacks do know that restful recuperation requires not being disturbed, don't you?
Ist doch gut. Das ist jetzt uncool.
What?
Ah, moin.
What do you think you're doing?
Gar nichts?
I don't want any trouble out of you.
Okay. Wir gehen wieder zurück, Leute.
I had a question about your plan.
Of course. The cosmos is generated and directed by the universal equation, also known as the Grand Plan. By contemplating the teleological order of things, one can
Grand
achieve
Plan.
verity. Right. You had a question?
Never mind. That about answers it.
Sehr gut, dass ich die Schutzkarte gefunden habe. Moin Messe. Bleib ich einfach dran. Kostenpflichtige Filme. Lange nichts mehr von dir gehört. Kostet dich nichts. Okay. Alright. Das hätten wir. Was haben wir hier? Hey, ich hatte eine. Oder kann man die nur einmal benutzen? Fuck, nicht jetzt. Okay, das heißt, Schlüsselkarten sagen. Okay, probieren wir mal kurz, warte.
Scheduled advertisement for the following story. And now for a special word from Chairman Rockland.
Greetings, hard-working citizens of Halcyon. In these profitable times, we need only look to there are those who cheat and swindle their way through life.
So, dann muss ich noch die zwei Dinger im Auge behalten. Was ist das für ein Typ? Ja.
Sorry about the heat. Chief Tennyson will get the radiators fixed soon. Of course, this heat sure makes a zero-G brew extra refreshing. It's an ale that's good for what ails you.
Bier ernst.
And it's not the best choice, it's Spacer's choice. Taste the freedom.
Choice.
A lot of slogans to keep track of.
Du arbeitest also für Spacer's Choice. Warst du schon mal in Edgewater?
Heard of it. My orientation Aether Wave showed that famous Saltuna cannery, which I'm sure smells as good as it looks.
Ist ganz okay dort. Sie haben es nicht leicht, aber sie tragen das Herz am rechten Fleck. Dafür passt so nichts. Der reinste Saftladen. Ah, das.
If you did, that'd be good, actually. They could use the help.
And if you do, please don't mention us.
I'd have to go over my contract, but I don't think I'm allowed to leave Groundbreaker. Or this stall. So, what can I get you? Some soap? Everyone loves soap. Everyone will love you for using it, too.
Ich muss eine Frage zu dem Hut stellen. Der ist wichtig.
I'm bound to satisfy headgear-related inquiries. Please send any complaints to our Consumer Care Headwear Division.
Alles okay da drin?
Oh, I'm having a stellar day. Not just because I'm legally obligated to say so. Almost as stellar as Spacer's Choice is affordable.
Kannst du da drüber überhaupt was sehen?
I can see all of the top-quality merchandise in the Spacer's Choice catalog, which is available here at a reasonable price.
Wo kriege ich denn so einen tollen Hut her?
You would never ask if you knew what it's like in here. I mean,
gut.
Why, anyone can be a Spacer's Choice Consumer Relations Choice Specialist. Just keep your nose clean and aim for the moon.
Ah, komm, zeig mal, was für Kopfs. Waffen. Die Standardwaffen, okay. 22% Aufschlag, tschüss. Oh, hier sind die Hüte, geil. Moonman-Helm, Alter. Ist ja mega. Lass mal den Schrott verkaufen. Komm, den einen müssen wir uns holen, der ist aber geil. So. Hier brauchen wir nix. Hier vorne auch nicht. Auch nicht. Verkaufen. Waffen. Pistole. Revolver. Haben wir schon. Plasmagewehr. Schlagstock. So. Das hätten wir.
I'm not going anywhere, you hear? You can't keep me out of there.
Please don't make a scene, Dr. Fenhill.
I am not making a scene.
Ja, was geht hier ab?
Sorry, am I causing a scene?
Scene, Furu? We could have avoided all this unpleasantness if you just let me talk to Jesse in the first place.
Worum geht es da mit deiner Freundin?
Let me get one thing straight. Jesse and I are not friends. I just owe her, okay? As for the rest, I'm trying to figure that out. All I know is that she's been here too long, and she's apparently not receiving visitors.
Moment, du magst sie nicht einmal, aber du siehst nach, wie es geht. Jessys Situation klingt normal für mich.
You say that like it's weird.
Ist es?
It is most certainly not. And watch where you go saying that, okay? You're gonna give people the wrong idea. I just don't like to leave a debt unpaid, that's all.
Da kann ich aber
Be
Jessie
my
mal vorbeischauen.
guest. If you know something I don't about dealing with hospital bureaucracy, I'll be impressed.
Moin Meister.
Something I can help you with?
Ich würde gern mit Jessie Deutsch sprechen.
If only my other patients had so many inquiring after them. I'll tell you what I've told the others. The records say Miss Doyle checked herself in and requested I admit no visitors. The requests of our patients are paramount, so no, you may not see her.
Aha. Und
she's not my
dies,
patient.
das, bla bla.
I'm certain no one on my staff would falsify patient records, if that's what you're implying. Not without dispensation from Chief Junlei, I fear. Supplies are hard to come by out here. We don't have the ability to manufacture our own medical supplies here on Groundbreaker. Regrettably, we are dependent on the board for such mundane items as bandages and antibiotics, as well as more critical resources like adequately trained staff. We'd take care.
Moin Leute. Wanda Dorset. Ach, das war die eine da, ne? Stimmt. Mit der sollte ich sprechen, oder? Wer ist das hier? Krankheit erwartet, okay. Dr. Wanda Dorset. Was geht bei dir?
Can't say I've seen you before. I take it you're a freighter captain? If you're here to better yourself, you'll have to wait. We're having a spot of trouble with our delivery service.
Soll dir von Wheeler ausrichten, dass du ihm wegen deiner Lieferung nicht mehr auf die Eier gehen sollst? Wheeler meinte, dass deine Lieferung noch eine Weile auf sich warten lassen wird.
He must be referring to Irion. I'm sure the fool's gotten himself into another scrape. I'm beginning to wonder if I'm ever gonna get my service mechanicals at this rate.
Ich könnte ja nach ihm
I'd be
suchen.
grateful if you'd spare the time. We need his delivery soon as yesterday. Last he told me, he was taking a shortcut by Scylla, an asteroid in the Charybdis cluster. That's where I'd start, were I the adventuring type. You look out, though. The place is probably crawling with outlaws.
Okay.
Keep
Hey,
hanging
ich
around
bin noch
and
nicht
I'll
fertig
begin
hier
to
mit
think
dir.
you're here for me. What can I do for you?
Im Moment nichts.
You have
Okay.
yourself a day then.
Wie es aussieht, bin ich doch fertig. Schade. War hier noch ein Arzt? Ne? Moin Leute. Ihr kennt uns doch. Das war die hier vorne, ne?
To the last ratchet on rotten time. Leave me in peace. You hull-headed quacks do know that restful recuperation requires not being disturbed, don't you? What? Why? Everything's fine. We're all fine here. No need for her to be worrying her pretty little head about me. I'm just terrible, dreadful sick is all. Got a cough that won't quit and sores all over my body. Highly, lethally contagious.
Einschüchtern.
But I'll be fine, so long as I'm left alone.
Einschüchtern.
Should have known she'd send a bruiser after me. Damned if I don't rue the day I saved her scrawny little hide. Inadvertently, I befriended a bloodhound in the process. Alright, okay. We can discuss this like the level-headed folk that we are. Seems I've got to do something before Ellie goes jabbering my business to anyone with one ear and an intent to listen.
Ganz genau. Was geht ab?
The truth is, I'm not sick. But if you repeat what I'm about to tell you to anyone, I will deny it with my dying breath. You, ain't with the board, are you? See, I owe them a lot. I might have missed a payment or two, and the other night I swear someone was following me back to my room. So I hold up here to lay low.
Was hast du
No,
angestellt?
I didn't do anything. I'm a law-abiding denizen of this ship, I swear.
Und trotzdem glaubst du, dass der Vorstand dich verfolgen lassen hat und versteckst dich jetzt?
Think? No. I recognize a contracted killer when I see one, thank you. In my line of work, that's a skill you develop during week 1. Assuming you want to keep breathing. All right, I'll fess this part up too, if it means you'll help me. I'm a thief. I specialize in particularly high-end and historically valuable items. 3 weeks back, I caught rumor that the blood-tier diamond, last worn by an heiress on the Lost Hope, had surfaced for the first time in 70 years.
Also hast du ihn gestohlen?
If I had, you think I'd be hiding out in the med bay? I was gonna steal it, lined up Udom as my buyer. He paid half up front to finance the operation. Let's just say things went sideways about the time I got my hands on the diamond, and it crumbled to stardust in my palm. Anywho, I barely made it out with my life, and nary a plan to make back Udom's deposit I'd spent.
Wie dem auch sei, ich habe es gerade über mich ausgeschaut und keinen Plan, wie ich das Geld verdienen soll, um Udon und sagen zu werden. Er hat mich gebeten, dir zu helfen, also habe ich vor, genau das zu tun. Oder lügen, ich arbeite in der Tat für den Schwarzschatten. Ah, ne, komm.
Udom Bedford's the board guy on the station. He'd know how I stand with them. If you can square things for me, I'd owe you one even bigger than Ellie owes me.
Ich
Thanks
spreche
for
mal mit
helping me
ihm.
with the board. You're a real pal. Or I guess I should say, Ellie is one, huh?
Genau. Ellie!
Any
Das
word
war
on
ein
Jesse?
Durchpaff, ne?
Good luck. The board's got an office on the promenade just before engineering. You can't miss it.
Ja, und mit ihm reden wir auf jeden Fall nächste Folge. Haut rein, Leute, und bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschö.